Big fight feel tonight. Big fight feel.
It is the 15th time that a member of the legendary Hawaii family has main evented the greatest.
Rise Up Late Night.
Not gonna lie, looks like the world doesn't want to see Dre. It's okay, man. The professional is here. We'll see if he can get back on camera. It looks like a lot of buffering. looks like his trajectory as far as this debate goes is as strong as the trajectory that Florida State had to get into the college football playoff.
Oh yeah. Get ready. Rise Up Late Night on a special Battleground edition. You know I'm your host, Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starter in the building. And as you can see, he's back. My guy in all Bills attire right now. My guy, Devon, the professional Stanfield, in the building. Listen.
Bills Mafia, stand up. Let's go.
Listen, this is about to be so real. I want y'all to like and share this joint because tonight's basis for Rise Up Late Night is on the college football selection. And me and Devon gonna go at it. This, I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be a crazy debate. Rules are as follows. Straight up, Devon, I know we got a respect for each other as far as journalism is concerned. So when Devon debating his side, I'm gonna make sure I'm quiet. When I'm debating my side, I'm gonna make sure that we good on my end too. So at the end, you guys can call in. I'll give you the call line number. It's already gonna be at the bottom of the ticketer. We're gonna make sure that happens. You can vote right now. Obviously, our conversation is gonna be about Florida and Alabama and the other teams as they were picked into what is the college playoff. So since I'm the one who invited Devon, I'm gonna let Devon decide whether he want to go first or he want me to go first. Now, again, whoever is debating, we're gonna make sure I'm gonna be mute because this is about to be nuclear heat. I promise you. You about to get two great perspectives from this. All right. So make sure you like and share. Make sure you listen to this joint. Make sure your mama, sisters, brothers, cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, if they up on a late night, let's get them up on a late night. Make sure y'all gonna want to hear this. This is gonna get real. So Devon, go ahead, my guy. You decide. Me or you?
I think that in the spirit of how we used to do it, I'll go first because I'm the guest on your show. I want to give you the opportunity to be the best and go last. You know what I'm saying? Even though, I'll leave that where it
is. Let's go.
So I want to be clear about what I'm about the premise that I'm about to present, because what I'm going to say has nothing to do with right and wrong. I just want to be clear about this. So everybody that is looking at this debate, looking for validation on right and wrong, you're not going to get that from me. Because right and wrong has nothing to do with the NCAA. The NCAA has never been about right and wrong. They've been about business first, money second, and then maybe we'll throw some education and some morality in there. So anybody that expected the college football playoff to go in any other direction other than the direction that it did, you're a fucking fool. Am I good? Am I good to proceed, Mr. Firestarter? All right, cool. So here's where I stand with the debate, and we talked about it on we talked about it on Fred. First of all, even before I get started, man, it's been a while since we've been on the platform together, so I want to do the due diligence that you are deserving. Andre the Torch Robinson, man, we go all the way back to 2017. Man, shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody that's been a part of our platforms, new and old. Dennis, the ignorant thinker, Marcus Betts, Ramona, and I don't want to go into like everybody, but y'all know who the core group was. William Richter, Ace, everybody that's been out there that's been a part of this platform, man. The Fresh Perspective guys, my guys, Courtney, Irv, Ice, everybody that's been a part of that. We want to shout all of y'all out because it's been too long since we've been on the platform. It's been too long since we've been live. So that I just want to make sure I shout everybody out. Dalton, shoot, everybody that we fuck with, man. I want to make sure I shout y'all out. Secondly, if I haven't mentioned you, shout it to my head, not my heart. Okay, that's first and foremost. Secondly, shout out to the Packers tonight for getting it done against Mahomes, even though Mahomes and them got screwed. But like my boy Ethan said, Mahomes and them have been on the right side of calls for the last 5 or 6 years. So for them to be on the wrong side of calls tonight, it's hard to feel bad for them boys, especially considering the fact that Mahomes is not having a Mahomes type year. So maybe this is just a little bit of karma coming back on you, boy. Shout out to the Bills Mafia. Y'all having we having a tough year this year. Shout out to the Bears. We've been having a tough decade. But shout out to the Bills Mafia. Seriously, I want to shout out the Bills Mafia specifically because we are in a position of turmoil where it seems like the head coach has lost the locker room. And nobody seems to want to acknowledge that because there is financial ramifications to getting rid of the coach. But sometimes you got to get rid of Mark Jackson to get Steve Kerr. And I'm gonna leave that where it is. All right. That being said, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real shit. With regard to the college football playoff, Andre the Torch Robinson, you weren't privy to this conversation, but I called this shit at least 2 weeks ago. I said, if Alabama goes into the Iron Bowl and beats Auburn, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to win the SEC championship, no matter who they play, which is probably going to be Georgia. And the reason that they're going to win the SEC championship is because in most college football playoff games, especially the one before they transcend to the 12-team format, they want 2 SEC teams in the college football championship. And I said specifically, it's probably going to be 3 SEC teams because Texas moves to the SEC next year with Oklahoma. So what y'all don't see is even though they booted Georgia, Texas being in there is Texas saying, hey, welcome to the SEC. That's first and foremost. Secondly, this has always been the case with Alabama and Georgia. Since Georgia got good, or let me put it in the context that I'm accustomed to viewing it in. Since Georgia got an Alabama coach and became good, just like Texas got an Alabama coach and became good, Sarkisian, Kirby, they got an Alabama guy and then became good. Now they start winning. it's time for them to bring their respective schools into fruition. In this particular instance, what normally happens is Alabama gets to the SEC championship. Alabama wins the SEC championship because that's what really matters to them. And then they get to the national championship, and whatever happens, happens, because as long as you in that game, the money split is crazy. Look at the business behind college football. A lot of people are talking about whether Florida State deserved to be in the college football playoff. And I'm going to get there, but I want to just school y'all on a couple of things. Sports Illustrated came out with their strength of schedule before the year this year. And a lot of people are referencing the after year strength of schedule, but the after year strength of schedule is based off of how teams do during the year, which is a bunch of bullshit. Coming into the year, what teams are projected to do and how they are projected to perform is largely how they are evaluated. Okay. In the sports betting platform, Alabama's strength of schedule was ranked number 3 in the nation. In Sports Illustrated, for most of you that don't know, and I posted this on my page, and I would be happy to post it again. Alabama, and this is just, and I want to be clear, I'm only referencing Alabama versus Florida State. Alabama's strength of schedule is ranked number 31 on Sports Illustrated. Do y'all know where Florida State's strength of schedule is ranked on the Sports Illustrated strength of schedule? Florida State, I said Alabama's 31, right? Florida State's strength of schedule is ranked number 78. 70 fucking 8. You know who's higher than Florida State in strength of schedule? And I'm only saying this because of its relevance to me and Andre the Torch Robinson. University of Buffalo had a harder strength of schedule on the Sports Illustrated strength of schedule rankings. University of Buffalo was ranked 73. So for those of you that think that Florida State belonged in the college football playoff with an undefeated record, even though they only put up 16 points against Louisville, they barely beat Clemson. And yeah, they beat Louisville. I mean, they beat LSU in the beginning of the season, but everybody that you're talking about, Alabama, Georgia, they smacked LSU too. Like smacked them though. Didn't beat them by like 10 or 15 points, smacked them. Alabama beat the brakes off of LSU. And that's it. And at least and LSU had a Jaden McDaniels that was at full strength against Alabama. So what is we really talking about? What we're really talking about is if we remove the BS, right? If we say what are the major factors that go into college football playoff and how you belong there, that it goes your record, your strength of schedule, your ability to provide fan show for the college football playoff games, which is only 2 games. But your fan base has to travel, and the impressive nature in which you win games. That's how the college football playoff is evaluated. If we keep it in a book, because that's what business is. If you beating teams up, if you playing tough teams, if your fan base travels, and if your name has some recognition, that's how you make it to the college football playoff. That's why you get into the Power 5. Okay? Well, last time I checked, Florida State got a top 5 quarterback in the nation, and his name is Jordan Travis. That motherfucker ain't played in 3 weeks. I'm sorry, 4 weeks. And ain't gonna play for the playoff. Matter of fact, they were advertising the backup, and he's in concussion protocol. Hence why they only put up 16 points against Louisville, because they got this guy named Rodemaker. No disrespect to Rodemaker, but I don't even think he's going to be at FSU next year. So you beat Louisville 16-3, a 3-loss Louisville team who was really not that good. You weren't impressive against Kentucky. And everything that has remnants to a team that should be inducted into the college football playoff. Every time you think about Florida State, all I think about is TCU. Strength of schedule, players hurt, name recognition is there for sure, but strength of schedule, players hurt, and your best player, regardless as to how long we wait, ain't playing in the college football playoff. So why would I put your team in the playoff when the very next year, because Jordan Travis ain't leaving, the very next year, if you're really nice like that, you can play in a 12 team and you can get the national championship. So rest up, young boy. Holla at you.
All right. Listen.
Hey, Dre, before I let it go, I want to make sure that people also understand that there is a consolation prize involved in this, because the NCAA, not only did they not put Florida State in the college football playoff, they said if y'all really gonna be salty about not being in the college football playoff and y'all really think that y'all belong with the quarterback play that you're going to have, they said, okay, well, why don't y'all play Georgia? Why don't y'all play Georgia with the said backup that you said was going to play in the college football playoff, and let's just see how y'all do. And if in fact y'all are at least competitive against Georgia, we might give y'all some recognition. But they're not going to be competitive. They're going to get smacked.
All right. Yo, listen, I appreciate your first round of debate, because I'm sure this is about to be 2 rounds. I'm sure at least 2. But I appreciate the first round. You came out swinging for sure. Definitely. Yo, listen, y'all on Rise Up Late Night. Y'all know what we talking about. You heard D Stanfield, the professional, giving his side. Now, I ain't did this in a long time, so y'all know that I'm about to show off and show out with this debate. I told Devon, this ain't for the faint of heart. So let me put this up clearly for y'all to understand what's about to go down. The head of the table is here. Listen, the fire starter for the fire start. This debate finna be your favorite one, and I ain't finna play with him. Listen, Devon. As much of a professional as you are, you should know I already done had your repertoire before this doggone debate. Like a spades game, you should have kept your hand. That hand, you should have kept it. Because I'm about to show you the error in your methods. Take this saw, you finna be looking up at the lights while your brain's decrepit. Okay? Let's be clear. If y'all didn't catch that right there, yes, I'm going to turn this battle into almost a battle rap when I do this, when I explain myself. Now, let me get it started. I'm going to get this thing started by quoting one of the most famous lines that my man was saying when he was the talk of the town. Miss me with the bullshit, fam. Miss me with the bullshit, fam. Miss me with it. I thought this thing was about winning games and moving sticks. Well, Alicia was real about one thing. It's Alabama, aka money and clicks. Okay? Money and clicks. Bro, I got hella respect for you. I know the professional didn't go corporate simp with this whole conversation. I know you didn't go corporate on me with this thing here. The professional couldn't have been going corporate simp while the NCAA looking to find more athletes to pimp. Please tell me you ain't going that route, bro. Now let me add some premise. Florida State, you talked about strength of schedule. I got your whole premise right here. So we're going to look at this thing. We're going to chop this thing down from A to Z. You was right about this Alabama. That was the first thing you said. You right, which tells me this thing is about money and clicks. This ain't about integrity. I feel like in order to have business, you got to have some type of morality. You got to have some type of humanity. These kids that we talking about, Florida State, no, they didn't have the best strength of schedule. You want to know why? Because every team can't play in the SEC. You know how many times we done heard this doggone debate about, SEC, they the creme de la creme, the creme de la creme. Well, guess what? Every team can't be in the SEC. So if we going to keep using that corporate bias statement to use it as a debate for what team should go in when we feel like they should go in, then all of us might as well be in the SEC. Hell, that way we ain't got to worry about whose strength of schedule is what, because all teams can beat up on all teams and it won't matter because they all in one big pool. We ain't got to worry about if the ACC is weak. We ain't got to worry about if the Pac-12 is weak. We ain't got to worry about if the Big 12 or the Big 10 is weak. Okay? Power 5 conferences I all named. And of course, we know once again that the SEC is the creme de la creme. Thank you for reminding us for the 55th, umpteenth, millionth time about this SEC. But here's where I start breaking certain stuff down about the SEC. See, the SEC didn't have a winning record against the ACC this year. And I don't give a damn who played who. But the truth of the matter is that the SEC put 6 smackings on the SEC teams this year, number one. Number two, secondly, no Power 5 conference school that went undefeated has ever not made a playoff. Will it happen today? Why? Because what you said in your first comment, which is, it's fucking Alabama, baby. Roll Tide, baby. Money and clicks, baby. You remember when Oregon's coach thought he was funny for saying that crap about Deion Sanders about, oh, we playing for wins, he playing for clicks? This is one of these moments right here. All y'all that's out there, hashtag playing for clicks right now in the comment section, because that's what the hell Alabama being in this top 4 is. Playing for clicks and money. We know what the hell going on. You can give us the corporate simp excuse for Jordan Travis was injured. He had an injury, so we don't believe Florida State is the same team that they were 3 weeks ago. Well, let me bite that debate. Let me bite that debate's head off. No, it was 3 weeks ago. It was against North Alabama. 3 weeks ago. Three games. Three. It might have been 4 weeks, but 3 games ago. Three games ago. But let me bite that. When was Alabama in the top 4 at all this year? When did they have Alabama in the top 4 this year? Did anybody regard Alabama as a top 4 team this year at all this year until just last week when they beat Georgia by a field goal while Georgia's best offensive player was on the bench? Did they regard Alabama as a top 4 team? No, I think not. I think they shortly regarded Florida State all season as a top 4 team. I wonder why. Well, here's why, and here's premise. Mr. Devon Stanfield will tell you because Jordan Travis isn't playing that Florida State isn't the same team and we don't want to see it. But isn't this the same Alabama team that barely beat Auburn, that got beat by New Mexico State the week before 31-10 at home? Isn't this the same Auburn team that you barely escaped from just 2 weeks ago? And then last week, you beat Georgia, proving that your team can be different from week to week. This is a week-to-week league. That's what everybody says, right? In the NFL, they say it's a week-to-week league. In college football, they say it's a week-to-week league. Well, let me tell you about this weak league that we talking about when it pertains to Alabama. According to Devon Stanfield's corporate criteria, you know the NCAA loves when y'all win by style. Style matters to them. The way you win matters. The style points and all that crap, right? Well, then you tell me how Alabama has 7 close games this season. Let me name some for you. Arkansas, 24-21. I don't remember Arkansas being regarded anywhere this year. I'm sorry. If anything, they're the bottom dirt on my shoes right now. Or the bottom dirt of my shoes right now is what Arkansas was this season. Oh, let's talk about Texas A&M, the team that you barely beat by 6 points, and their coach got beat. Their coach got fired during the middle of the season for being boo-boo cheats, or what y'all like, my favorite saying, dumpster juice. All right, dumpster juice. Oh, what happened? What happened when y'all played South Florida? Huh? What happened when y'all played South Florida? Y'all had a boo-boo week, then turned around again and laid another boo-boo week with the 17-3 barely I beat USF. I'm sorry, are they regarded as a top 5 Power 5 school? No, absolutely not. How about Mississippi, who you barely beat? I mean, y'all beat them by 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't impressive. It wasn't an impressive victory. It wasn't that impressive. It was boo-boo cheeks. It was boo-boo. You want to know why? You want to know why it was boo-boo? Because nobody considered Alabama as a top 5 team this year at all. We didn't know what Alabama we would get week to week, which is the reason why they wasn't even regarded until last week when they finally beat Georgia. They beat a team. See, y'all will tell everybody, well, Georgia won 29 games in a row. They went back to back like a Drake song. They won 2 championships in a row. You know what that tells me? They was destined for a loss. 29 games in a row? I mean, damn. Who they supposed to be? Roman Reigns? They supposed to be Roman Reigns? Win 1,000 games in a row? No. This is college football. 29 is impressive, but that tells me they was due for a loss. They lost to Nick Saban, who's 12-1 in conference title games. You know this, Devon, because you roll tide. That's you, Mr. Roll Tide, man. You should know this. Your team wasn't consistent all year long, but y'all gonna fight Florida State. Florida State, the same team that beat LSU when they was 5th in the country on the first week. You mentioned LSU. Everybody smacked up LSU. Well, what team beat them most impressively? That would be Florida State. Florida State had them 45-17, and it looked like a straight up gauntlet. They had ran the table on LSU. LSU scored in garbage time. It ended up being 45-24, but it was in garbage time. FSU had killed them. They smoked the boots off of them. They beat them more impressively than Alabama. You like style points, don't you? You like style points. Alabama beat them 42-28. I got it right here. Right here. So they played the same teams, and Florida State looked more impressive against them, right? Then, what y'all don't want to be held accountable for is the fact that y'all let the Longhorns, y'all let them Texas Longhorns come into y'all vicinity and raid your vicinity like virginity. And then they beat y'all by double digits. Texas came into your place, and beat y'all by double digits. Whose fault is that? Huh? I almost wanted to call you Skip just now with your corporate self. I can't believe you, Stanfield. You came up here talking all this strength of schedule. I don't want to hear no strength of schedule when everybody can't play in the SEC. You can only play who you schedule. So you're going to sit up here and beat up a team who's undefeated, 13-0. Then the worst part of this whole thing is they go 11-0, lose their star quarterback. You would have thought their season was over. They turn around and beat Florida in the swamp. We all know that Florida in the swamp is a hard place to play in. You know it. Y'all done played them before. Alabama know about Florida. They played them and beat them by double digits. Let's be clear. With a second string quarterback. Second string quarterback. Defense, one of the best in the league. Defense, one of the best in the league. You telling me Florida State ain't got one of the best front lines in the country? That's what you're telling me. I know you ain't gonna tell me that. They went there and won. Then played the ACC championship against 15th ranked Louisville. I don't give a damn if the score was 3-0. Devon Stanfield, you play sports like I played sports. You know damn well a third string true freshman ain't getting no licks in practice. You know he ain't getting no reps. He ain't getting no reps. You know this. What did you think you was going to get from him? A Bobby Boucher performance? You thought you was going to get Bobby Boucher from a third string quarterback, true freshman. That's what you thought? Y'all talk about style points. Oh, because they only won by 10. It was 16-6. Come on, man. They still won. They didn't lose. Y'all lost. You lost. Won. Put that number one side up. Somebody hashtag in the comment section. Won. You and Texas. Texas, I was fine with. Alabama, we know why they did that. And the committee is so cute. They so cute. They're going to put Texas at number 3. Real cute. Oh, Jordan Travis ain't playing, so we don't want to see them because they ain't got their best player. But TCU, you talked about TCU. You know what another school, you know what school makes this whole argument sound boo-boo about that straight schedule? Do you remember 2021? You remember the Cincinnati Bearcats, right? You remember them? Was it Spencer Rattler? 21? Do you know who Cincinnati beat that year? They beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame was 8th in the country. How did they get in the College Four? How did they get in the Big Four? Ain't that the year Alabama smacked them? You know, Roll Tide. You know this. Devon, you know. Because it's your team. Your team smacked them, right? Should they have been in the 4? You know, Devon, they shouldn't have been in the 4. They shouldn't have been in the 4 at all. They ain't beat nobody the whole year. Conference US, the Bearcats. Really? The Bearcats got in that year. Then TCU turns around and gets in over Alabama the next year. They beat Michigan because Khaki Pants wasn't focused then. He wasn't focused. He was a damn media circus when TCU decided to smack on Michigan, but then got smacked on by Georgia, and then came into this season and got smacked on by Colorado. So was TCU really that good? Boo-boo cheeks. But you know what the committee just told us? The committee told us that TCU and that damn Bearcats team was more deserving to be in the college playoff than a team that persevered without their number one quarterback, that won 2 games that they needed with a number 2 and a number 3. And they told us that the Cincinnati Bearcats was better, and they told us that the TCU, them damn the Horned Frogs, I don't give a damn, Horned Frogs was better than the Seminoles. Now, you know that don't make no sense, Devon. You know that don't make a lick of sense at all. Talking about strength of schedule and who's who. You know that strength of schedule debate is boo-boo because everybody can't play in the SEC, sir. And last but not least, since we talking about Alabama, why is it that the Texas Longhorns, when they smoked Alabama, right? You know how many points they gave up to Texas, right? 34, right? Florida State hasn't gave up 30 points to no team all year long. But I thought this was about style points. According to y'all, it's about style points. It's about how you win. I mean, this is what I was hearing today from these corporate simps. These corporate simps was trying to tell me that Alabama, they beat Georgia, the number 1 team, 29 games. I give them their props for that. But y'all don't want to hold them accountable for the loss that is against Texas. Here's the other thing that ain't nobody mentioned. See, I told you we was going to talk about all 4 teams, not just 2. We was going to talk about 4. Michigan shouldn't be in neither. Michigan's coach got suspended 3 games for signal cheating. I mean, unless this is the Patriot way. I mean, we okay with the Patriot way? You okay with the Patriot way? Huh? You okay with the Patriot way? Because the NCAA had enough to suspend him. They suspended him for 3 games. I swear, I swear college football, the only sport that I know do crazy stuff. Number one, they didn't punish the team. If this was the NFL, the team getting punished. If this was the NBA, the team getting punished. If this was the MLB, the team getting punished. If this was the NHL, the team getting punished. Hold on. You know what else I noticed? Oh, no, don't do that. No, ain't nobody doing that. Oh, no, ain't nobody doing that. You know what else? This is the only sport that I know that you could go 13-0 and still miss the playoff because of an injury. Do that happen in the NFL? No. Do that happen in college basketball? No. Do that happen in baseball? No. Do it happen in hockey? No. Y'all got to be more consistent. My problem isn't the fact that Alabama won against Georgia. My problem is that the NCAA has an integrity issue. Inconsistent. That is a problem. You go ahead and tell those other 99, and I'm about to be done. You tell those other 99 athletes, you cute, wrap it up. I see you real cute. Your ASL was real good. The committee should have used the ASL and pointed down when it came to Alabama this earlier today. You tell those other 99 athletes, some of them even seniors, you guys can't make it to you can't get on this stage. You can't get on this platform, this stage, this playoff stage, because your quarterback took a freak accident. That wasn't his fault. Y'all senior years, y'all have fun playing Georgia, by the way, because we want to be smart asses. We'll put you against Georgia, and let's see what you do against Georgia instead of where you should have been, which is in the college top 4. Because the bottom line is they're a Power 5 school and they didn't lose. I'm done. Cheers to you.
Hey, somebody give that boy the slow clap, because that's what he deserves right now. He put all his emotions, all his vitriol, all his best foot forward. Yeah, all size 14 of that motherfucker. He put that motherfucker on the front lines and said, let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. I got more, but
here's my thing. I started off with y'all being realistic. I told y'all, it ain't about wins and losses. It's about the business of the game.
Respect.
It's about the business. He even went out of his way to give me accolades on how my integrity about this evaluation was on point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he went into the bullshit of the evaluation.
Nah.
Which, if I'm being honest with you all, was the trap that I set.
Okay. All right. Come on for the trap.
See, here's how this shit really goes down. If you look at Florida State's schedule, week 1, they beat LSU 45-24. Week 2, they beat Southern Miss 66-13. Week 3, they beat an unranked Boston College 31-29. Week 4, they beat a severely depleted unranked Clemson team 31-24 by luck.
Now let me ask you this question.
No. You said.
Oh, okay. We still on the same. We on the same rules for round 2, right? Go ahead. All right. Go ahead. All right.
Week 5, they beat another unranked team, Virginia Tech, 39-17. Syracuse 41-3. 16th ranked Duke. Anybody know Duke for football? 38-20. Unranked Wake Forest 41-16. Unranked Pitt 24-7. Unranked Miami, which they struggled with 27-20. Unranked North Alabama 58-13. Unranked Florida struggle again. Now I will give them this. Jordan Travis did not play. He got knocked out the North Alabama game. He did not play the Florida game. And they struggled in the Florida game because they had the second string quarterback. So I will not count the Florida or Louisville games. I'll give you that, Dre. You are spot on, 100%. Okay. We should not count the last two games, and we should accentuate that team for persevering with people that don't belong in the starting lineup. Is that fair?
Fair. Very fair.
When we go over to the Alabama schedule, we see unranked Mississippi, Middle Tennessee, 56-7. Fine. The Texas loss was the number 2 game in the season, and they lost by 10. And in fact, they only lost by 10 because of a late turnover. But that doesn't mean anything. They lost. Unranked Florida, 17-3. 15th ranked Ole Miss, 24-10. Mississippi State, 40-17. Now, these are all SEC teams. Texas A&M, 26-20, just like you said. But if we're being honest, Texas A&M has been a rivalry game since Johnny Manziel was there. On top of the fact that Jimbo Fisher just knows how to play Nick Saban. I wonder why. Maybe because he came from that coaching tree. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Arkansas 21-20. That is a flaw in the armor. Arkansas is definitely a flaw in the armor. That is when Jalen Milroe finally figured the shit out because he won that game by himself. The next week, 17th ranked Tennessee beat they shit in 34-20. And the reason I say beat they shit in, Tennessee had to score 10 points in the fourth quarter in garbage time just to get back in the fucking game. LSU beat the brakes off their ass when they figured it out, and they had Jay McDaniels at top tier, and they were ranked number 14, 42-28. Beat the shit out of them motherfuckers. Did not flinch in Kentucky, didn't flinch at Chattanooga, had a rivalry game with Auburn, which they had to win at the last fucking second, which really Auburn coach and that DB should be fired for that shit.
Facts.
And then what happens in the SEC championship game? What I told you was going to happen, Dre. Alabama always wins against Georgia in the SEC championship game because Alabama always beats the coaches that leave their coaching tree in the games that fucking matter to them, the games that are personal. When it gets to the national championship shit, that shit's for the public, bro. I don't have a problem understanding the fact this is where this shit really boils down to. Does Florida State belong in the college football playoff? No, they don't. Why? It's not a good business move. They did not beat quality opponents decisively in a manner where you could say they're better than Alabama. And in their current state, they can't beat Alabama or Georgia. They might not beat Michigan. In their current state. Now with Jordan Travis, a player that is arguably a top 5 player in the country, we got a whole nother conversation. But I can guarantee you the committee said we're going to Vegas for the college football play. Now, you got the Rose Bowl, the games that lead up to the college football playoff. You got the Rose Bowl and the shit in New Orleans, right? which then takes you to Vegas. And if there's anything that's more about money, it's a college football playoff that's played in Vegas.
Oh, we know.
So if there was ever a time to not leave it up to chance, it was this year. Why are they going to Vegas this year? Because next year it's a 12-team playoff and they don't give a fuck, because now you really got to earn your way to the chip and they don't have no control over the bullshit. But this year, it's literally still all about the ratings. You know why they agreed to go to a 12-team playoff? Because NIL's involved. They don't have control over the money anymore. You got centers making $1 million a year in college because they signed NIL deals with Ford Truck because they Ford tough down on the line. And I just got through talking to Fred about this, and you can and there's certain shit that has been disclosed during certain events that I can't necessarily speak to, but there's shit going on that's bigger than this bullshit that we talking about right now. The college football playoff has been a fluke for years. It's always been about money. So if you equate the business of college football with how you perform and you integrate those two together, Florida State doesn't belong yet. But if Jordan Travis was playing, we're talking about a whole different conversation. But since he's not, let's talk about everything that Dre decided to bring up, because I took notes.
Oh, I know. I saw you like a professional. You better have took notes.
So when you talk about corporate simps, right? Jay-Z said something 2 decades ago. He said, I can't help out anybody if I'm not on the inside. If I don't have a seat at the table, I don't know how these motherfuckers is planning, so I can't even help you. So the last thing I need to be is one of you. I can't be a bum on the street. Talk about helping bums on the street, because I'm just like you. So here's the thing. Arkansas legit lost. Texas A&M, guess what? They had 3 points in the second half against Alabama. Guess what that means? The motherfuckers wasn't as strong as you think. LSU, they scored 7 points in the second half. And you said Michigan doesn't deserve to be in, but Michigan literally went through the same exact thing that Florida State went through, because they lost their coach for 3 weeks. You just lost your bitch ass quarterback for three weeks. And in losing your quarterback, you came to a weaker part of your schedule.
Oh.
Which is why you were able to persevere and maintain that undefeated record. Nobody's scared of Louisville. Even Stephen A. said this. He's like, oh, we supposed to be impressed by a Louisville team win? A 3-loss Louisville? That's what we supposed to be impressed by? He said this on national TV with Mad Dog. And I don't fuck with Stephen A. like that, but when the boy got a point, the boy got a point. And if we're being honest, whether you want to admit it or not, the TCU incident last year with the national championship, that hurts Florida State. It doesn't help you. It hurts because they had two critical injuries. Their strength of schedule was trash. The 2 critical injuries happened in the college football playoff semifinal. They go into the game and they lose, and they get a 60-piece put on them. That's almost as bad as Russell Wilson and Sean Payton getting that 70-piece put on them by Miami. You don't belong, bro. You don't belong in your current state. I keep saying this because people want to get emotional about this shit, but it ain't about emotion. It's about your current state. Jordan Travis ain't playing in the college football playoff. You're talking about you're trying to promote your backup quarterback, and your backup quarterback ain't that. Yeah, Rodemaker is trash. I can honestly say that. But your backup, but even your second string, the concussion protocol guy, he ain't that. Here's what I propose, and this is just me being the professional that I am. Here's what I propose. Every other platform, every other sports platform right now, every other major sports platform that employs minority athletes right now has a play-in game. It should have been simple enough for the committee to say, we've come to a disagreement as to who should get into the college football playoff. And so we are employing a play-in game for this year and this year only as a trial basis, because we have the top 3 teams, but Alabama and Florida State need to play each other as a play-in game to find out who gets into the playoff. That's what should have happened. Because if Alabama knocks Georgia out, which I don't even think should have happened, I think Georgia has a more legitimate case than Washington. But if you're going off the basis of, in the last 5 years, every undefeated team in the 14 playoff has made it in. Even if you talk about TCU, let's just make it all inclusive. If you go off the last 4 years and the criteria for the last 4 years, and you come to this conclusion, what should have happened is we should have saw a play-in game. We should have a play-in for the playoff. They should have said, Alabama and Florida State, y'all play one game, and whoever wins this game, you are automatically the 4th seed, and you should have been playing Michigan. And we should have rolled with it like that if we wanted to be fair. But if we keeping it a buck, business ain't fair. And if we know anything about the NCAA, they business first. And in the past, the NCAA might have been willing to say Florida State or blah, 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 blah. But now that NIL is involved and they're losing money because of name and likeness, now they want all their money. So now it's about them getting everything that they feel like they're owed. And that's just me being honest. I'm not trying to make a case for Alabama, even though I feel like Alabama's better than all of those teams. But this ain't about my feelings. This is about what's real. And what's real is business first for the NCAA, and who's going to bring out the best fucking possible product. And when you really look at this shit, you can't deny Alabama. You can't deny Michigan because they're undefeated without reproach. They're the only undefeated team. And you can say what you want to say about Michigan, but at the end of the day, they remain undefeated without their coach for 3 straight games on a charge that you couldn't prove that every other team does. And then you talk about Washington. Well, Washington beat Oregon, and Oregon beat Texas. Texas beat Alabama. So if Oregon was number 5 and Washington got rid of them, you got to put them in. Texas beat Alabama, but Alabama beat Georgia, so you got to put them in. So where does Florida State get left? Well, if they got their starting quarterback, they probably number 2 or 3. But in their current state, you know what you get left? You get left with Georgia. And you got to prove your worth.
You real cute. That's real cute. You so precious. All right, so I definitely like that you got deeper into this conversation as far as the NIL deals and things of that nature. You know, when you credential, you're privy to certain information, which I know you are credentialed. So am I, which is the reason why I started this thing off holding this thing like this in the very beginning. Because now I gotta go credential mode with you. So I listened to what you said and I took some notes myself. First, you said it ain't about feelings, but this whole thing was about feelings with the company, with the NCAA. They feel like Florida State isn't the team that they were 2 weeks ago. Well, my argument is still the same. My argument is there's a lot of teams 3 weeks ago, 3 games ago. My argument is still the same. There is plenty of teams that from week to week change and evolve. No team is the same team every week. Florida State did everything they were supposed to do. They won all of their games. Nobody, when you read off your schedule in those games, nobody won a whole bunch of games convincingly. In fact, the same team that Florida State beat convincingly was y'all best win until y'all played Georgia. Well, my thing is Florida State can't get Georgia on the schedule because they don't play in the SEC, which goes back to what I said earlier. If we gonna use this SEC creme de la creme conversation as a piece to be prejudicial towards other teams, then how about all of them just join the SEC and we don't even have to have this conversation no more because they all could just beat up on each other. Then we ain't got to worry about Stephen A. with his big mouth talking about was we supposed to be impressed by Louisville? Bro, you're a bench warmer. Shut up, bro. You bench warmed. You didn't play. You played a couple minutes in a college basketball on the bench. You was on the bench, sir. I mean, you're great when it comes to your. You're great when it comes to. Hold on. He's great. No, I got to do this. I got to do it for the sake of what my reproach to your comments. Bro, you played on the bench for 5 minutes. We talking about 100 athletes from Florida State who did what they were.
This guy at UB, does that make my take less worthy?
Right. Oh, I get you. No. I have nothing. I don't have nothing against what you're saying. But from my side of it, I see the humanity side of it. You guys are talking business and corporate, and I'm talking humanity and integrity. My thing is, they did what they were supposed to do. They won every game. You didn't expect Bobby Boucher to come out against Louisville, a third string quarterback who don't get no reps. You know this, Devon. You played. I played. We played sports. You know how this go. Coaching. You know why SEC is the best? It's for 3 reasons. Number 1, storied programs. 2, they get the most donations, usually. 3, they get the best coaches because of storied program. And they get the best talents. They get the best recruits because of those things. So if we using these narratives as far as SEC, I feel like it's bogus because, again, Florida State cannot help what conference they play in unless the NCAA is going to get rid of that biased, I want to use it when I feel like it argument of it's the SEC, it's Alabama, baby, which I told y'all earlier, AKA means money and clicks. Yeah, I told y'all that earlier. Yeah, sir, we got to do something about that. That is an integrity issue because 100 kids just literally lost out on a platform because their quarterback had a leg injury, and because they don't play in the SEC. I think that's terrible that we are sitting up here displacing kids and results from these kids for clicks and money. This is what we doing. We sacrificing these kids, pimping these kids out. And you talked about NIL deals. That's real cute, Devon, because guess what that means? You just the pimp. We just pimping you. Go get my money. I'll give you a portion. Go get my money. I'll give you a bunch. Look at you. I know you want to raise your head. You don't get to do that. I had to sit here and wait on you. You gonna have to sit here and wait on me, sir. I get it. They had to give them NIL deals because we already know they was using their likeness the whole 9 yards and getting away with it scot-free, making billions of dollars. Now that's what I call corrupt. That's why I said earlier we talk about corruption. You said, and I quote, "Business ain't fair, but the NCAA is about business first." So what do that make the NCAA? If it ain't fair, it's what? If it ain't fair, it's what? It ain't right. It ain't right, and you know it ain't right. But you said in the very beginning you wasn't talking about right or wrong, which is the reason why I could respect your whole synopsis, because you came out right in the beginning and said it's effing Alabama. This money clicks. Get it. But you just sacrificed that. You just sacrificed Florida State, their undefeated season, for money, clicks, and likes. By the way, when you mentioned TCU, I noticed that you still failed to mention Cincinnati, sir. Why did you not mention Cincinnati in 2021, sir? Because Cincinnati is the hypocrisy. Cincinnati is the hypocrisy of what just happened this year. I get it that TCU kind of hurt Florida State because of they missed players when they got 60 put up on them by Georgia, even though they beat Michigan. I get it. But Cincinnati ain't even a Power 5 school at the time, bro.
Who did TCU beat to get to the national championship game?
They beat Michigan.
And what's happening right now?
Oh, I get it. But I'm talking about Cincinnati. You talking about TCU. I'm going to the Cincinnati.
I said I didn't mention Cincinnati. I said I didn't mention Cincinnati because Cincinnati never played in the national championship game. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you're right. Okay, I understand.
They're not even in the conversation because they didn't even produce a product that was national championship worthy. TCU,
so right, and
TCU
this
made
is where I
get to my case. TCU literally made a legit case that they were national championship worthy, not only because of their product, because it's Texas, it's money, it's oil money at that.
Okay, got you. I respect that. I respect what you're saying 110%. Here's my question though. Since we gonna sit here and talk about strength of schedule and conferences, right?
Okay.
If that's the case, name the conferences that won championships the last 10 years. What 2 conferences was it?
Big Ten and SEC.
Wrong. Big Ten and SEC.
Big Ten, SEC.
You mean SEC?
Big Ten, SEC.
No. You
what you talking about? The Big 12?
Oh, I'm sorry. Three. What 3 conferences?
Big 12.
No.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. ACC, SEC.
Thank you.
And the Big Ten.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Hey,
the last time. The last time.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because you asked me a question. So let me ask you a rebuttal.
Okay.
Outside of Jameis Winston, has Florida State ever been in the conversation? Since in our lifetime, post Charlie Ward, has Florida State been in the conversation?
No. The closest that they was with EJ Manuel, and we know how that ended.
Exactly.
That was the closest. I totally understand that.
Let's keep it a buck. If Dabo Swinney, SEC produced, if Dabo Swinney's SEC produced ass wasn't recruiting SEC players and stealing them from players that because they thought he was going to Alabama anyway. If Dabo Swinney wasn't doing his thing at Clemson, are we even having this conversation? Because Miami ain't been relevant in fucking I don't know when.
Okay. Well, that's a good question, and my answer to you would probably be no. But I'm gonna flip that on his head. If Clemson would have went undefeated, is Clemson getting in?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. Thank
They are.
you. I'm
Yeah,
glad for the honesty.
they
We
are.
being honest.
It would
We
be
being real.
it would
Yes.
be
We
very
real.
very difficult
Mm-hmm.
because of who Dabo Swinney is, and because of how closely he is related to this era of championship football. It would be very very difficult to exclude him outside of the college football playoff. It would be very
Thank
very
you very kindly for your honesty. I love the real, the professional. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And here's why I say that. So now we thinking it's just the player.
I
Was it
told you it's
because of
business.
the
It's business.
hold
We got to
on,
look at
hold on,
every
hold on,
aspect. We
hold
got
on,
to
hold
look
on,
at
Devon,
every
Devon.
aspect.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna add something to it. We thinking it's just the player. Is it because of the coach too being newer? Is it
Yeah,
because the coach
it
don't got to
is.
say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
every aspect, Drake. I'm not excluding. I'm not excluding any variable. Any variable. Li- Listen, we can if you want to get down into the weeds of it.
Yeah, I like to pull from the ground. You know that.
Let's look at let's look at how many players on the respective teams that have been drafted in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, and comprise that with part of the evaluation, because that is money generating.
True.
See,
True. So
well,
ask,
that's another reason why if Clemson was undefeated, you can't exclude them. They've been producing them boys.
Florida State produced them boys too, though.
Yeah, but it ain't been at the mass number that Georgia, Alabama, Clemson been doing. They've been doing numbers, and look what's about to happen in Texas.
Oh yeah, well Texas is.
Oh, Texas is back.
No, me and Marcus had this
Texas is
conversation
back.
about football.
Texas is
So.
back. And if we keep it in a buck, bro, if we keep it in a buck, let Oregon had beat Washington, Alabama and Georgia would have been out of that shit.
You know what? I could see that. I could agree with that.
How you gonna refute
I don't like
it?
Oregon.
How you gonna refute it? Oregon beat Texas. Texas beat Bama. How you gonna refute it?
Right. That's true.
If Oregon beats Washington, you can't put Bama, Georgia, or Texas in there. You can't.
You're right. That's respected. You're right. I have no argument for that. You are right. And as much as I hate the Ducks, because the Ducks gonna duck, you're right about that. I don't have no argument.
You just said a word right there, and you ain't even know it. The Ducks gonna duck. The Ducks have historically failed in the moments that could have put them into fucking historic legendariness.
Correct. Agreed.
Even when motherfucking what's his name? That's the even when Justin Herbert was the fucking quarterback, and they had the opportunity to take the fucking world by storm. They let fucking Herm Edwards and Arizona State come in there and bust their ass.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I definitely remember that. I thought you was going back to Mariota. I thought you was going back to Mariota when you was talking about Oregon. We could have went back that.
Mariota really overcame some odds, but Justin Herbert had everything at his disposal and still dropped the fucking ball. That's why I don't believe in his bitch ass now in fucking San Diego.
Or by the way, I want to thank
wherever the hell he at.
I want to thank everybody who subscribed right now too. Everybody who just subscribed on the YouTube channel, we appreciate you, man. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm telling you right now, man. Creme de la creme when it comes to sports talk right here. It don't get no better. It's credentials all over this motherfucker over here. I mean, we pulling in big fish over here for sure. And it's all over the world. So we appreciate y'all greatly for doing that. Man, we talking this thing, and obviously, as you can see, me and Devon put this thing together because we knew what we was gonna get ourselves into. We knew what type of conversation was gonna happen, and once again, you done heard 2 rounds of of nothing but phenomenalness. I'm gonna be honest with you, just for the simple fact that there's a lot of premise. He has his premise. I have my premise. I appreciate his premise. I'm sure he appreciates mine. We came
without a doubt, because we don't necessarily have to look from the same lens in order to see each other eye to eye.
Real, that's real. My thing is, I got a question for you. Next year, you mentioned in your statement, you said, well, if Jordan Travis doesn't go to the NFL, we should see what Florida State's gonna do. Well, my thing is, do you think that Florida State and Alabama should play in the first game, just like Florida and LSU played? Florida State and LSU played.
I feel like the play-in game. I feel like the committee did us a disservice.
Okay, I agree.
I told my boy Desi this. Shout out to my boy Desi from Memphis. He a real one. I feel like the committee did us a disservice. I feel like the committee got to a place where they were at a stalemate, and they made a business decision, which is what you're supposed to do. And that when you're at the head of business, you're supposed to make the best business decision. They couldn't validate Georgia because it was a wins and losses thing. You had a situation where Michigan was a standalone. Oregon beat Texas. Washington beat Oregon. Bama beat Georgia. Texas beat Bama. So you had a wins and losses situation. I feel like the committee failed the general public because they could have gave us one more game, impromptu. Because everybody else has done it. College basketball has done it. NFL has done it. Fucking the NBA has an in-season tournament and play-in games. Everybody has a play-in situation or a play-in format except for college football. Why not implement this shit as an impromptu initiation and then just say you would get so much love from the general community to just say, hey, we got 3 teams that deserve to be in the college football playoff. But we couldn't decide as a group between Alabama and Florida State who belongs. So we are going to implement a play-in game for the playoff. We don't care about your injuries. We don't care about how you got here. All we care about is we don't want to be the deciding factor. We want the teams and their play to be the deciding factor. So we're going to initiate this game. We're going to push the college football playoff off another week. And we're going to have Alabama and Florida State play one game. And whoever wins, it's winner take all if you go to the college football playoff. Period.
Respect.
And we don't give a fuck about how you feel about it. It's an extra game. It's not on the schedule, but this is how we roll. You know why that? You know why that's so great? You get another football game. You get more. You get more TV money.
Yeah.
And nobody fucking complains because the winner of that game gets to walk in there undisputed, and the loser of that game still gets to go see Georgia, bro.
Yeah, facts. My thing too. You mentioned Florida State. Here's my thing. Why I kind of was mad about the Florida State thing too, is because I think Michigan really is a better matchup for Florida State due to the fact that Michigan's quarterback isn't a really great quarterback. McCarthy is not a great quarterback.
He's not.
In which you would have had 2 mediocre, maybe average quarterbacks playing.
Because the second string quarterback at Florida State is not bad. He's just not great.
Right. The second string is not bad. He's not bad. He's not great. Yeah, he's not great.
Now, Rodemaker is trash.
But yeah, he's god awful. I mean, he had 58 yards for the whole game. I get it. He had 58 passing yards for the whole game. I totally get why. I understand why they did kind of what they did, but I just was annoyed because undefeated is undefeated to me. And I just would have rather kind of seen like Michigan, Florida State. They kind of would have had the same thing. And their second string would have been able to play in that game. then we could have seen what it was really about. Because Florida State's defense to me is top tier in the country. I would have got to see what Florida State's defense do with Michigan's offense and Michigan's defense do with Florida State's offense. And whoever win. And then I don't think I wouldn't think Florida State was winning the national championship anyway without Jordan Travis. So I thought they was going to lose.
The only problem that I have with with Florida State is college football playoff motivated. Florida State's defense, they decent. They decent.
Hold on, Devon. We got comments coming from Sports Diehard 998. Look at this comment he just put in the comment section. You tell me if you agree with this comment.
From what standpoint? Passing or overall? And I'll comment while I wait for him to respond. I feel like Florida State's defense is decent. It's noteworthy, but their run defense is atrocious. And if there's one thing that the SEC teams do very, very well, it's run. So take that with a grain of salt.
He said JJ is a better NFL prospect.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, he's speaking facts. JJ's a better NFL prospect for sure. He's speaking facts. I don't have no rebuttal to that. That's 100%. Yeah, I don't have no rebuttal to that. Jalen Milroe is a shell of even what Jalen Hurts was at Alabama. Jalen Milroe needs to go through a huge grooming process. I like what Jalen Milroe has been able to do as far as growth is concerned, because he literally. So I don't know if you watched the interview that he did 2 weeks ago, but he literally said, "I stopped running in practice."
Yeah, I watched it.
I'm only passing. To me, that's a person that's saying, "Hey, I need to own up to everything that is my flaw." McCarthy, his reads is good. He just can't make elite throws. So yeah, he's a better. He could be a game manager in the NFL. Yeah, I don't see no lies told. I'll be honest with you. There's nothing that old boy that old boy just said that's non-factual.
Yeah, I don't either. He said Washington and Oregon's quarterbacks will be better than May and Williams.
Whoa. Better than what?
Better than May from North Carolina and Williams from USC.
Bo Nix is not good. Don't believe the hype.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good either. He couldn't cut it.
Bo Nix was not elite at Auburn, so I don't know what your evaluation process is, and so I don't like to shit on SEC guys. Bo Nix. My problem with Bo Nix is the same problem that I've always. Me and Dre had a conversation about Justin Herbert before he got drafted.
Yeah.
My problem with Bo Nix is the same problem that I had with Justin Herbert, but Bo Nix doesn't have half the talent that Justin Herbert has.
Fact. Major fact.
Bo Nix is horrible under the big lights, bro.
And he couldn't cut it in Auburn. So
he could not cut it in Auburn.
Right.
And as far as a thrower of the football, now I will say this: he is a student of the game, so he can make it happen. He is a student of the game. I'll give him that. The rumblings out of everywhere he's been has been he does the work, so I'll give him that. But like talent level, man, he don't have half the talent that man, Justin Herbert, bro. If Justin Herbert was a clutch, if Justin Herbert just had a I don't give a fuck attitude, he'd be a different quarterback, bro. He'd be, there's situations where Justin Herbert's up by 28, and he'll see a team get 2 touchdowns, and he know he can put up like 3 or 4 more. He just chooses to go with the flow. That's the bullshit, bro. Me and Courtney Chappelle and me and Dre had this conversation like 2 years ago with this nigga. Damn, I'm trying not to use any derogative language on the air, so I apologize. But this Herbert should be John Elway, bro. Herbert should be John Elway, but he doesn't have that. I don't give a fuck. Bo Nix is just like that. Bo Nix is just like that. He don't have that, and he got half the arm talent that I won't say half. He got 3/4 of the arm talent that Justin Herbert has. So he ain't that. Whatever y'all think, he ain't that. Now Penix, opponent. What I don't even know how to pronounce boy name, but Penix in Washington, the people that y'all swear up and down is top 3 in the Heisman race. I don't know if y'all followed boy career, but this is the first year that I've ever seen him make it through a collegiate season without getting hurt. So if y'all think he about to go to the NFL with his style of play and not be Robert Griffin III, good luck. Good luck. Because he ain't that. Especially if you go to a bad team. The different, like Bryce Young is going through growing pains right now. And like I said, I'm an Alabama guy. Bryce Young going through growing pains right now because Carolina is a horrible organization. God forbid he get the right people around him, because he making all the right reads, he making all the right decisions. He just don't have the right personnel. If Bryce Young had anything remotely close to what Justin Herbert had in with the Chargers, okay. All right. If Bryce Young came into a Houston Texans situation like CJ Stroud did, all right. And shout out Dre, shout out to Tank Dell, man. He broke his fibula today, man. That's catastrophically bad, because as much as I love Alabama guys and I supported Bryce Young, I love to see cats like CJ going nuts. And CJ had Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, Noah Brown, and Nico Collins going, and Devin Singletary, Motor. Shout out to Buffalo, Motor, and Pierce. They was going crazy out there. So Tank Dell going down could put a hamper on their progress. But man, shout out to CJ Stroud, man. You balling, bro. I hope you get the Rookie of the Year. I hope you go crazy. And that's from an Alabama guy, bro. So shout out to you, bro.
Speaking of which, it's interesting that you're talking about Ohio State product. He definitely broke that narrative as far as Ohio State quarterbacks, for sure.
Not yet. Definitely. He got to do it in year 2. You know how that sophomore slump.
Well, his first year is a damn good start, if any. So okay, got you. Because the sophomore slump is crazy for a lot of athletes in any sport. But CJ Stroud, talking about those Texans real quick, I honestly feel that you, sir, are doing him an injustice by only calling him the Rookie of the Year. Here's why I feel like you're doing him an injustice. I will explain this.
Wait. Are you about to give me MVP talk?
Oh, absolutely. Here's why I'm doing this. The reason why I'm doing this is for the simple fact that just like the NCAA, I feel need to do certain things. I feel like the NFL needs to too. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes no more as MVP. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Jalen Hurts when they play on exceptionally well teams. It's most valuable player, not most valuable team. To me, if you took off CJ Stroud from the Texans are a lottery pick again. Again.
You think if you took CJ Stroud out and you put Bryce Young in, they'd lottery pick?
Yes.
I don't. I think they.
I don't think Bryce Young is as good as CJ Stroud.
I think they right where they are, maybe better.
I mean, I would have to see what they could do, or what he could do at Carolina when he got some. See, CJ Stroud don't got the weapons like that though. Tank Dell, and here's another thing too.
Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, and Noah Brown, and bro,
those ain't top tier weapons. All the names that you just named.
That I named is okay. All right. Okay.
Not top tier. Don't you dare say they top tier.
Okay.
Don't you dare say they top tier. Okay, so here's my thing though. I feel like that coach was wrong for that play that got Tank Dell injured. You do not put Tank Dell in a scrum being 5'10", 165 in a scrum with 300-pounders on a push. Why would you ever do that? That is absolutely egregious to me. That's how he got injured. I watched the play. I'm like, dude, he should not be in the middle of this pile. Why is he in the? He's 5'10", 165, soaking wet, and you're in the middle of 300-pounders, bro. No, I'm sorry. Get somebody else to do that.
Before I comment on the play, because I've seen the play, but I haven't really evaluated. Before I say anything about the play, football players are football players, Dre. We know this. I would like to look back through the archives to see how many times Tank Dell has been in that type of scenario, that type of play. How many times that play has been called? Because if it's been anything more than 3 or 4 times, he's used to it. So I don't care.
Okay, I get you. That's if. That's an if.
One thing that we know for a fact is that DeMeco Ryans is an old school football coach. So nobody's off limits. Nobody's off limits. Everybody got to know each other's role. Everybody got to support each other. Everybody got to go hard every down. And he treats people like grown ass men. So I find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe. Here's my thing. Tank Dell didn't complain about the shit. So if he not complaining, it's hard for me.
Nobody else really to be complaining. I'm just saying that I felt like just watching from a watcher's perspective, somebody who's studying plays and personnels and things of that nature. I just thought that he should not have been in that play. He shouldn't have been in the middle of that scrum.
That's fair, but that's fair. But let me impress upon you one thing. Houston's no longer pushing for a good season. They pushing to win the division and get to the playoffs.
Well, okay, so with that being said, if CJ Stroud gets them a divisional title and goes to the playoffs, he's not MVP?
Is he outright MVP? No. Is he in the conversation? Why not? I don't see.
Yeah, I'm saying he could definitely be in the conversation.
I don't see how you could exclude him.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Here's the problem. Before you even talk about CJ Stroud in the MVP race, there's a guy in my mind that's head over heels over everybody. His name is the motherfucking cheetah, Tyreek.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna mention Tyreek. I seen it. I seen it coming.
For me, that motherfucker went crazy today. He went nuts today, bro. So I'm like,
breaking Calvin Johnson's record.
if we continue, if we talk about people that should be MVP outside of quarterbacks, we continue to deny Tyreek Hill. He went nuts today, bro.
What about Christian McCaffrey?
So here's my issue with McCaffrey. So number one, he's on steroids.
Oh, I cannot. I cannot. Yo.
How long I've been saying this?
For a while.
Okay. So for me, he's on steroids. But let's just say he wasn't. Bro, he's surrounded with with maybe the biggest gambit of talent that we've seen in the NFL in as many years, bro. So how you gonna give this guy MVP when you working with DJ Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, which Trent Williams should be in the MVP conversation because when Trent Williams was hurt, they didn't win a fucking game.
You're right. They sure didn't. They didn't win that one damn game.
Williams should be in Orlando Pace status, bro.
Right.
So you got Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and your fucking quarterback who really be holding it down. Like I thought there was gonna be a severe drop off, bro.
Devon, there's a question for you right there.
What seed do you see the Bills getting the playoffs? I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you said that. Thank you. That don't make me feel so bad for my them not making it.
When they play Kansas City, if they don't beat Kansas City decisively, so first of all, Pat Mahomes don't lose back-to-back games.
Yep.
This week, this coming week is a statement week for Buffalo. Buffalo needs to walk into this week and say, we're here. If we don't beat Kansas City decisively, we're not going to go on a run, and we're probably not going to make the playoffs.
They tried that.
If we do that, we will be a divisional team, and we will probably have the same trajectory that the Giants had when they had their 9-7 season.
Yeah, the Bills haven't lost after a bye week. That's true. But here's the thing. I think Green Bay might have did Buffalo a disservice this week by beating Kansas City.
Beating KC. The only saving grace is that the referees really screwed KC.
Yeah.
Because those two pass interference calls were not bullshit. Even the officiating specialist was like, how do you not call that?
Yeah. We know we seen that the week before with Buffalo and Philly. So I mean, we've seen a lot of that.
We saw it with the horse collar.
Yeah, I know the horse collar was crazy. No, I don't think the Bills making the playoffs either. Like I told somebody earlier today, the gauntlet is crazy. You got 5 games in which, so you just had a battle with Philly. You luckily got the bye week. Now you come off the bye week. You got to go to Kansas City. Then you got to come back home to Dallas. Then you got to go to LA. Then you got to come back home for New England. Then you got to go down to Miami. That's a hell of a lot of traveling. And this ain't the team that was 2021 when they ran the gauntlet after the D-Hop catch. Remember the D-Hop catch? And then the Bills won every game after that. This is not that Buffalo Bills team. Okay? This is not that team. I'll tell you that much.
Talent-wise, we're better than that team.
Talent-wise, but here's the problem. Coaching-wise, he ain't the same.
We are not
nowhere near the same.
We're not that. We're not that.
No. Not even close.
Now, let's just say for the sake of argument, McDermott calls Dabo and say, Hey, Brian, your season is over. Can you help us out?
So you did see the article that came out. So I was talking to somebody from the Athletic
about McDermott beefing with Dabo before he left. About Dabo not actually wanting to leave.
Yeah. So there was an article about him and the general manager both having some type of clearance that if push come to shove, both of them could come back to Buffalo.
Bro, listen. What me, you, and Mookie talked about in private was always the case. It's not Brandon Beane. It wasn't Ken Dorsey. No disrespect. Sorry that Ken Dorsey lost his job because of this bullshit. It wasn't Ken Dorsey. It wasn't Brandon Beane. It's McDermott.
Yeah, we know it's McDermott, but I feel like, okay, so if we're gonna look at it from the full synopsis, Ken Dorsey had his part in it. I feel like Bean has his part in it because he didn't do enough for the team. I think he wasted a lot of money too.
No. Everybody has their part. What I'm saying is,
but for the 6-6 shell down, yes, I feel like McDermott is the biggest problem. Absolutely,
McDermott is the problem. 100%. If you're not beefing with Dabo, if we go into the offseason and you're not saying, hey, you're not beefing with Dabo, and when Dabo says, hey man, I didn't control the defense for the last 7 possessions. I mean, for the last 7 plays of 13 seconds, you did.
Sure did.
And you're trying to put this on Leslie Frazier, and Leslie Frazier takes a leave of absence from the NFL because he doesn't want to be involved because he wants to show the NFL that it wasn't him. And now
we see that it wasn't him.
We can see it.
We see it wasn't him. Sure. Mr. I want to be aggressive.
Bro, we can all agree that Leslie Frazier didn't blitz enough. And he was lacking aggression as opposed to attacking teams when we had them down against the ropes. Yeah, we can agree to that. Even Leslie agreed to that. He said I can be more aggressive. But
Sean McDermott is conservative.
Sean McDermott is a prism of he gonna claim Andy Reid, but he's a prism of motherfucking Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that being said, what's our thoughts on Von Miller? I don't have any thoughts on Von Miller.
I told you
0.
I told you how I felt about the signing when we signed him. 6 years is too much.
Yep, I said the same thing. Too much.
For a 34-year-old motherfucker that plays defensive line, you don't deserve that money.
Yep, should have been 2, and that's where I get at being at. I feel like
I get that he wouldn't have signed in Buffalo for 2, but what you should have done is paid him all his money in the first 3 years, and then reserved the right to release his ass in the last 3.
Well, that's true. You could have did that too. I mean,
you're gonna give him the money anyway. If you're gonna give him 106 anyway, break the majority of that shit down into the first 3 years where you're gonna get the best out of that nigga, and then get him the fuck out of here the last 3.
Yeah. My thing is, I feel like it's a matrimony of mediocrity between if we pulling weeds from the root. Josh Allen, Ken Dorsey. I call him Ken Dorsey because he got fired. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane. It's a matrimony of mediocrity at all 4 of those positions, and that's why the Bills are 6-6. Not to mention, let me add on the fact that Stephon Diggs is not making the situation no better either. And, bro, I said this to a couple people, and I don't know if you agree with this, Devon, but Stephon Diggs will not be a Bill next season.
Yes, he will.
Mm-mm.
Yes, he will.
Mm-mm.
Unless the Bills have an opportunity to get Marvin Harrison or old boy from Ohio, old boy from LSU. He'll be a Bill next year.
William Richter, the answer is yes. The answer is yes to that. Should the Bills trade Diggs and others and start yes. The answer is yes. And here's why the answer is yes to me. The answer is yes is because you're too old, number one, and you don't wasted too much money. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you exactly who they need to get rid of. And this is again just organizational moves. Dawson Knox, 13 million. I don't know why you paid him 13 million. That was crazy. Then went and drafted Dalton Kincaid, which was crazy already. And you're not even using 12 personnel the way you should anyway. You wasn't doing it when he was playing. So I'm not understanding why you got Dawson Knox. Plus he's a drop machine. Number one. Number two, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde both gotta go. Too old on the back end. It's time to let that go too. Too much money invested, time to let them go. Vaughn Miller should be another one gone at the end of the season. Gabe Davis, another one gone at the end of the season. If we being real,
if we being shitting on the guy, man.
If we being real, gone. All of them gone.
Hey man,
I'm sorry.
I want to hear some phone calls, man.
yo, listen. I can put the number up there.
I see Chuck Thomas. I see Chuck Thomas. I hear damn Dalton Smith. I want to hear some phone calls. I want to hear what people got to say. I want to debate people that's on the line.
I put the call line up there, but hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it up here again. I'm put it in the scroll down here at the bottom. I'll give you a different number. I put one number up there. I'll put this one up. Watch this. Damn. Should be up there coming up.
Florida State has to prove their worth to college football. I felt like too many teams with legitimate stature can beat them. So if y'all really about that life, beat Georgia. I don't think they could have beat Georgia with Jordan Travis.
Oh, see, now that's where I disagree. Now we got a disagreement. I got a disagreement because Florida State to me was the most complete team that I've seen this season. If we talking about, they're the most complete team. Offensively, they're the most complete team, running and passing. Defensively, they're the most complete team, pass rushing, at the cornerback position. The only thing is, you mentioned it earlier, they just have to be a little better on the run
defense.
Other than that, I disagree. Just for the simple fact of the up and down shit that I seen. Georgia, to be honest with you, Georgia was faking folks with the last. See, it depends on when you catch people. You catch them at the right time. Alabama caught them at the right time. I wasn't surprised that Alabama beat Georgia because
I said Alabama is catching Georgia at a time where they are vulnerable.
Yeah, Saban wins conference championships. We know this. 12-1.
Look
for no reason.
Look at Georgia's record this year, bro. Look at their close game.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You catch them at the right time.
Bro, they haven't been lights out this year. Let's be honest.
No, they haven't.
They have not. So Alabama was probably looking at them like, we figuring it out every week. We licking our chops. All we gotta do is get past Auburn. Because Georgia really don't have it. They got it, but they don't have it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I think Michigan or Texas winning it anyway, but
I feel like Georgia barely. They squeaked their way out of the South Carolina game. They barely beat Auburn, just like we did. And yeah, Missouri gave them fits. And shit, fucking Georgia Tech getting fits.
Yeah. Again, we'll see. I got Michigan and Texas winning those two games.
Michigan beating Alabama
I got Michigan.
over Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, you smoking crack.
I cannot. I am not smoking crack. I am not Dave Chappelle.
No, you're not smoking crack. You smoking Whitney Houston crack.
Okay. See, now that is just crazy. I'm not about to die for no crazy shit like that. But I don't know, man. Okay, all right, okay. Sleep on Jim Harbaugh if you want. I'm gonna revisit this in a couple weeks when they play Alabama, and if Michigan win, just know I'm coming back to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Alabama gonna beat Michigan. Washington might beat Texas.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but they might. But if Washington beat Texas,
Whoa. I'm sorry.
and the Wi-Fi wins again. Listen, for everybody that's listening, man, let me put this on. Listen, for everybody that's listening, college football playoff is bullshit, man. Everything's about business. So if y'all thought it was about who wins and losses and who's the better team, it ain't about that. It's about money. And when the college football committee tried to give people the opportunity to make money and prove that they're a decent team to be there with your undefeated record, TCU fucked up for everybody. They got 60 piece with them. Don't nobody want to see that again. So that being said, everybody have a good night. TCU, Florida State, enjoy your hiatus, and we are out of here. Cool. Shout out to all the Rise Up family, Dalton Schultz. Matter of fact, let me shout out everybody. Dalton Schultz, Chuck Thomas, Brian, everybody that's been a part of this show tonight. Man, shit. Yeah. Dalton Smith, Chuck Thomas, Brett Hills, Jay, Jesse Neal, I'm gonna say Brett Hills, Andre Robinson, David Betty. Oh shoot, what's up, Deborah? I know, see, boom. Yeah. Yeah, everybody has been supporting us over the years, man. Shout out to y'all. I don't know where Josh Bailey. Dang, Josh Bailey. Jesus Christ. Josh, you okay, man? Yeah, I heard you was dealing with some things, man. Likewise, though. But man, shout out to y'all. I don't know where Dre at, but it's been a great conversation. I hope that Dennis, the ignorant thinker, opens up a Zoom so we can chop it up later on tonight. But I'm done. Roll Tide. Scroll Patrol line. Y'all see that at the bottom. 716-954-5209. Much love to y'all, man. It's been a great night. Rise Up Late Night. Fresh Perspective. The Ignorant Thinker. Fucking Marcus Betts and Ramona. Man, we outside. Oh shoot! Look at Look at the fire starter or the torch bringer. What I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if I don't even know if he's like the candle lighter. Or,
There you go. Okay. All right. Here you go. Candle lighter. Got him. Nah, man. I'm the greatest living unorthodox ever, man. That's me.
yeah, man. We tonight was a great night. Actually, I missed it.
Very much so. Caller.
You got a caller?
Yeah, they calling, but the wind is terrible. Wherever they at, that wind is horrible. Anyway, but we gotta go though, because it is what 2:30 in the morning, 2:45. God damn.
Hey, you got a caller? I could be up.
Nah, it's a restricted call. I don't even think they really. I think something wrong with whatever they doing. But yeah, they ain't call back again. Yo, we're gonna have to do this again, Devon.
My schedule has opened up quite a bit, so I'm ready.
Ooh, usually
And
Monday.
Courtney, just FYI, Courtney and Irv hit me up just yesterday to set up the resurgence. I'll put
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, you should definitely. Fresh perspective. Yeah, definitely. You should.
No, not just fresh perspective. Period. The resurgence.
Oh, period. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
That's good shit. That is good shit. Hold on. See, dude, no. You keep calling restricted. Show a number.
Tell them to call my phone.
For real. You gonna hear?
Why they don't get rid of the static?
I don't know what's going on with they phone. It's windy. It sounds like they're in the windy city or something.
Well, that might be Ace.
Oh Lord.
You know he like commotion.
Oh Lord, you love commotion. Never mind. Shout out to everybody that's been tuning in too. Man, we had the 2-hour mark. Well, head the hell on out.
Man, this is dope.
Monday evening usually, Friday evening, Saturday evenings usually are the best times.
Dre, if you had one team to take out of the college football playoff, who would it be?
Wait a minute.
If you could take out one team to put another team in, who would it be?
Right now?
Right now.
You know it's Alabama. I can't take Texas out. Because Texas beat y'all. And I can't take out the other two undefeated.
I could take out Michigan.
Why I just don't understand. You know, I can't wait. They need to go to 8. They need to go to 8 teams to hurry up and do it.
You just made a case to take out Michigan because they weren't punished properly.
Yeah, Michigan too. Michigan can get the smoke too. Michigan definitely could get the smoke too. I don't care. Michigan can get it too. I just don't understand. Like, if you had that much information, evidence that you suspended
one team had to go. If the committee said one team had to go, honestly, just honestly, I would send Washington if I were there.
Oh, because of the Pac-12?
Yep.
I knew it. I kind of figured you was gonna say that. Pac-12.
Because I feel like they're going home anyway.
You know what though? I kind of think that the Pac-12 was getting love this year because of a certain team that came into the Pac-12 too.
Ooh, Colorado.
Bringing more attention to Colorado. By the way, yes, TCU got beat by the Jackson State Buffaloes. By the way,
I said TCU. Well, I said personally that I feel like Florida State third string quarterback team could have been beat by Colorado. A fully healthy Colorado, by the way.
You know what though? Speaking on that, Colorado gonna be good next year. The people sleeping when they get them recruits.
Only if they keep all their recruits. Some of their recruits is up in flux.
Yeah, they keep the recruits. They're gonna be all right because all they need to do is get bigger in the trenches. Those two aspects. That's why he didn't want to play Alabama when he was at Jackson State, was because he felt like they needed to be bigger in the trenches. That wouldn't even been a game. He told y'all that, and then he got there. He brought Jackson State over to Colorado, and y'all see exactly what the hell he was talking about. They need to get bigger in the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line.
That's a fact.
Shador was sacked more than any quarterback in the country,
and that's why he hurt now.
And putting up plenty of numbers too, but he hurt. And that Travis Hunter dude is a beast.
Yeah, good luck keeping him. He out of here.
Oh, you don't think he's staying in Colorado?
No. Well, he might stay at Colorado one more year, but he up out of here. He going to the NFL.
Oh yeah, NFL. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
The Schultz, Chuck Thomas, Josh Bailey. I'm sorry, Dalton Smith, Chuck Thomas, Charles Bailey, Ramona, fucking Marcus Betts, Dennis the Ignorant Thinker, whatever his last name is, I don't know. Jay, Rashad, listen, Letitia, everybody that we built a fucking empire with. Ice, Court, Herb.
Yeah. Empire.
Everybody we built an empire with, man. I fucking love y'all, man. And I'm glad that we are slowly but surely rebuilding this shit the right way. So with that being said, roll Tide. Business before pleasure. and just remember this. The Orange Bowl happens before the college football playoff. Y'all make sure y'all watch the Orange Bowl, because when Georgia beat the shit out of Florida, y'all gonna know they didn't belong. Y'all gonna know they didn't belong in the beginning, and y'all gonna say to yourselves, the committee did the right thing.